Good morning, Jack. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Seth. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Did you stay up to watch the conclusion of the baseball season last night?
I did. Yep. I saw it. Close game there, pretty much till the end, right?
Yep.
Kind of fell apart in the ninth, but otherwise it was a good game.
You know, how crazy is baseball that you can have a guy like Zach Gallen just pitch his, the game of his life. I mean, really, 7 no-hit innings, and then and the D-backs don't even score a run, and they lose in Game 5 of the World Series. Like that, baseball is just unreal. Like a single guy can play that good, and you don't win the game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it can be cruel that way, can't it?
It really can. That's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. Cruel is the word for sure. But Jack, I tell you what, we've got some good stuff to get to today as it relates to Social Security, and let's start with open enrollment. It's open enrollment time. How about that?
Yeah. So right now we're in Medicare open enrollment. That runs from October 13th through December 7th. So we're kind of in the heart of it at this time. What that means, Seth, is it's the annual opportunity for those who are enrolled in Medicare to reevaluate their plans that they're in. And that kind of covers a few different areas. You know, we're talking about Medicare Advantage plans, if you're in that type of plan, Medigap plans for, kind of supplement to the regular type of Medicare Part B. That also includes Medicare prescription drug plans. So there are several types of Medicare plans that you can change from one year to the next. And this is the period of time that you can do it. So it's a really good idea to take a look at what you've got now, take a look at what that plan is going to look like next year, see if that's going to still work for you. If it's not, if you think that it's time to make a switch, you're in that window now until December 7th where you can do that. And then the change will be effective with January 1st of next year. Now, it's possible that there isn't any change you need to make. So if that's the case, you take a look at it, looks like it's going to still be good next year, then you don't have to do anything. But if you want to kind of figure out where to gather that information, there are a few different options. You can go to Medicare's website, which is medicare.gov, or you can also call Medicare at 1-800-MEDICARE. They have different plan finders available that you can see on the website, and you can talk to Medicare representatives about them. There's also a resource in the state of Illinois that you can use. It's something through the Illinois Department on Aging. The Senior Health Insurance Program is what it's called. They have a network of volunteers throughout the state that are at places like senior centers and area agencies on aging, and they can kind of help you as well. So what I would recommend if you're looking for some assistance there is to call the Illinois Senior Health Insurance Program, and their phone number is 800-252-8966, or just look for Illinois Senior Health Insurance Program online and you'll find their website. So Medicare.gov or Illinois Senior Health Insurance Program. But just keep in mind that open enrollment window runs until December 7th. So if you want to make some changes to your Medicare plans for next year, now's the time to be thinking about that.
Very good. So put that on the radar. That time is now. Jack Myers, Social Security, our guest on the phone today. Jack, let's dive into checking in at a Social Security office, Mobile Check-in Express. What's this about? I didn't even know you had to check in when you got to a Social Security office. So what's this?
Yeah, so for quite a long time now, we've had basically kiosks in our office where when you come into the office, you check in on the kiosk. If you have an appointment, you indicate that you're here for your appointment. If you don't have an appointment, you just indicate that you're here for whatever type of business you want to serve, you want to conduct, and then that's what kind of gets you into the line for us to serve you. So that's been around for a while. But what's new now is we now have a mobile check-in process. So basically, when you get to the Social Security office, you'll see signage that includes a QR code that you can scan with your mobile device. So if you've got a phone that you can use to scan a QR code, which most of the time nowadays you just use your camera app on your phone, and that'll scan a QR code for you. The QR codes are those kind of square, blocky-looking things that are sort of pixelated. If you don't know what it is by name, I think you'd know it when you see it. But basically, the advantage to that, there are a few different advantages. Number one, in the morning, the first thing what happens in our offices is, we open at 9 a.m. So a lot of times people will line up outside the office in the morning and wait for the doors to open so they can go in and use the kiosk to check in. Well, we're getting in the winter. I mean, this week tells us, right? It's been cold and you got to stand in line. But if you use the mobile check-in, you don't actually have to stand in line. It opens up at 8:30. So if you're at the office, you do have to be at the office. But if you're physically at the office, you can go up, scan that QR code, get yourself checked in, and then if you drove there or got a ride there, you can go back and sit in the car and wait for the doors to open, and your spot in line is already saved. So it really is handy. It's handy for that reason. It's also handy because then once the doors do open, if a few people have already checked in via the mobile check-in, they can go straight to the desks and start getting helped while the other people are checking in on the kiosk, and it just kind of just helps traffic flow more quickly and smoothly. So yeah, it's a really good idea to take advantage of it if you can. Again, that's the mobile check-in. Basically you just have to make sure your devices are up to date and you've kind of done your software updates and those sorts of things, and have your location services turned on, and then it should work for you.
Very good. Very good, Jack. You mentioned have your mobile devices updated and those sorts of things. Let's kind of dive into that component, just so folks kind of understand, where they can do this at in terms of what devices to use or, what programs to use. How about some of that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, this is going to be good for you if you have an appointment or even if you don't have an appointment. So you can check in as a walk-in using the mobile check-in, just like you can do that on the kiosk. So, there's no requirement for a certain type of appointment to use this. From a technological perspective, again, you just kind of want to make sure that you're using an updated device. So you've done your software updates. The mobile check-in is most compatible with Safari, which is common on, Apple products, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and Firefox. So pretty much the main browsers that people are going to be using are the ones that this mobile check-in works best with. You also, again, I mentioned that you have to be physically at the Social Security office for it to work. Well, the way that we can verify that is with your location services. So you have to have your location services on so we can verify that you're there at the office. You also will want to enable notifications, because basically you're going to get, when you check in, you're going to get an electronic ticket, and then you're going to get an alert on your phone when it's your turn. So you got to have those notifications turned on so that those things will come through. Otherwise, you won't know, and it won't really have done you any good. So those are kind of the key things technologically, kind of similar to what you're experiencing if you're using your mobile device other places. I know sometimes when we order food places, we have to, if we're using the app, we've got to be in the parking lot before it'll actually allow us to submit the order. And it's, kind of a similar type of concept where just making sure you're on site, and then it enables you to check in. But again, a big plus to this is that the mobile check-in opens at 8:30 in the morning. Our office is open at 9. So it doesn't mean you can get in the building at 8:30, but you can get checked in and your spot in line can be reserved. And then you can sit in your car or your friend's car or whatever the case may be, where it's a little warmer than having to stand outside this time of year.
Very good, Jack. So keep all that in mind. Again, that is the express check-in for the Social Security office nearest you. Jack, let's continue on here this morning. Let's talk some Veterans Day things. Veterans Day, of course, comes up on November 11th, and always a good opportunity to highlight the way Social Security does just a small piece to honor veterans and military members. How about this?
Yeah, Seth, and this is obviously something that we do year round, but I think it's always a good opportunity to talk about it when we're approaching Veterans Day. It's important that we honor all veterans who served our country and risked their lives to protect us, and do it in a lot of different ways. But one of the things that Social Security does is we can expedite disability claims for veterans, and there are a couple different ways we do it. One of them is through something we call the Wounded Warrior Initiative. So basically, if there was a service member who developed a disability while they were on active duty on or after October 1st of 2001, and it doesn't matter where they were, if they were in active duty and they became disabled on or after 10/1 of 2001, while they were on active duty, then we can expedite that under this Wounded Warrior Initiative. Another thing that we can do is we can expedite disability claims for veterans who have a 100% permanent and total disability rating from the VA. So it doesn't mean that you're going to automatically be approved under either of those scenarios, but what it means is we're going to work hard to make a faster decision for your claim. I mean, basically, we're just going to move you up in the line, for lack of a better description, and it's really a tribute to your service. We've got information on both of these things on our website. So if you go to ssa.gov/wounded warriors, you can learn about the ways we expedite. But there's also other info there, so you can learn about the disability programs. You can learn about the differences between Social Security disability and VA disability, because they are two different programs. And many times it makes sense to apply for both. So you can learn some of those differences and kind of get a better feel for whether or not you think you should apply for the Social Security program.
Very good, Jack. That's great stuff. Appreciate you diving into that. Did we, by the way, get to everything you wanted to mention on that one?
Yeah, just another quick reminder of that site, ssa.gov/wounded warriors. So, check it out for yourself, or, maybe refer a friend to it if you think they'd benefit from it.
Easy enough, Jack. We got some more to get to when we come back, so we'll take a break here and do that with Jack Myers with Social Security next, our guest on the phone on the WHOW Morning Show. WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn starting the day steady, beans higher, and wheat slightly lower. December corn opening $4.74 1/4, down 3/4. March corn down 1/2 penny, $4.89 1/4. May corn $4.98, down 1/2 penny. November beans starting this Thursday, $13.01, up 9 3/4. January beans up 11 1/4, $13.26 1/4. March beans $13.39 1/4, up 10 1/2. December wheat opening $5.59 1/4, down 2 1/2. March wheat down 2 1/2, $5.87, and May wheat $6.05 1/4, down 2 1/2. December bean meal $4.28.10, that's down 2.30, and December bean oil $50.25, up 35 cents. Opening numbers on this Thursday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
Looking for Chevrolet inventory? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We have the all-new Chevrolet Trax, Blazer, and Trailblazers coming. Plus, several Chevrolet Equinoxes and Traverses are here. This month, take advantage of extra $1,000 trade-in assistance on your trade. There's always a need for quality trades here at Baum's. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Connexus will provide local, reliable, affordable, and speed-of-light fiber internet to Clinton. Get on the install list now by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber internet is coming to Clinton. Get on the install list now.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the program, again, Jack Myers with Social Security. Jack, it's time to talk a little bit about, as we, of course, start to think about retirement planning, business owners, and how they integrate Social Security into their retirement planning. Let's talk about this. What's going on here?
Yeah, well, Seth, I think it's important that we take a minute and just maybe call some attention to Social Security and the importance that it has as a part of an overall part of a retirement plan, and especially for business owners, because if you work for somebody else, it's just kind of automatic, right? I mean, you don't really have a say in the matter. You get a paycheck, your Social Security taxes are withheld from it. It just happens. You don't really have to do anything for it. But if you own a business, it's a little bit different. And let me kind of illustrate what I mean by that. So, most business owners are hyper focused on growing their business and legacy, and trying to wear all kinds of different hats, especially small businesses. A lot of times you are whatever needs to be done that day. You're your HR department, you are your engineer, whatever the case may be, you're doing it all. But I think it's important that you remember retirement as well, because at some point everybody has to slow down. And hopefully the business has built enough value that it can sustain you in retirement. But if that doesn't work out that way, what will you have? So you got to think about that sort of thing. And here's where I'm getting at, that it's a little different for small business owners. Because when you own your own business, there are a lot of legitimate legal ways to keep your taxable income down. And while everybody can understand the advantages of that approach, don't lose track of the impact that will have on your future Social Security benefits. Because the net earnings, especially if you're a sole proprietorship, the net earnings that you report on your tax return are what you pay Social Security taxes on, and they're what your future Social Security benefits will be based on. So if they're always low, your Social Security benefit is going to be low as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you've just got to think about that, because I've talked to many small business owners through the years who have gotten to that retirement point and they're disappointed in what they have coming back to them from Social Security. So just think about that. There are a lot of tools out there. You can go to the My Social Security account on our website, ssa.gov/myaccount, create your own personal account, take a look at estimates of your future Social Security. Think about what would happen to your family if you passed away. If tragedy strikes and you perish, what are they going to be eligible for? That's going to be based on the Social Security taxes you've been paying in. What if you become disabled and you can't work anymore? That disability benefit is going to be based on the Social Security taxes you pay in. So take a look at the account,
Mm-hmm.
see what you would qualify for in those circumstances, see what your family members would qualify for, but just think about it. You may decide that, hey, I've got this covered. I'm going to take my legitimate tax write-offs. That's fine. I'm not suggesting that you have to do it other way, a different way, but I just want to make sure that people are thinking about it, because for small business owners, as I already mentioned, it is a little bit different. You're kind of on your own on this. So you want to make sure that when you get to the retirement years, you've got something in place that you can, get by on, I guess is the key. So don't forget about that account, Social Security, ssa.gov, My Social Security account. Take a look at that, and, maybe talk to your accountant about, different approaches to your taxes if you're not real happy with what you're seeing there in the My Social Security estimate.
Sure. Well, again, Jack, best place for folks to find more information and other resources.
Again, the My Social Security account's a good one. There's also something on our website just in the publication section. So if you go to ssa.gov and look for our publications, there's one that says if you are self-employed. so you can read a little bit there, and it will talk somewhat about what I've just been covering here this morning.
Easy enough. Very good. Jack Myers, Social Security, our guest here this morning on the phone. Jack, we've got a few minutes still yet with you this morning, and I know you and I had talked via email. We'll touch more on this next month, but the cost of living adjustment was announced recently, those COLAs. So what do we know about this? Just give us kind of the quick 2 to 2.5 minute overview on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, earlier in October, I almost said earlier this month, but I guess we're in November now.
I know, right?
So,
we're into November. Yep.
So last month, we announced that the increases for 2024 for SSI and Social Security are going to be 3.2%. So, basically that's going to be for the payments that are received in January. Technically, it's the SSI payment that's going to be received December 29th, because SSI is normally due January 1st, and we all know that's the holiday, and so it's the last business day before that, which will be December 29th, and then it'll be the first payments you get from Social Security in January. Those will be the ones that see that 3.2% increase. We are going to be sending some letters out, so in December you'll get letters. Kind of a good point right now to bring this up. If you want to go ahead and go to ssa.gov now and create the My Social Security account, you can opt to have your COLA notice sent directly to your My Social Security account, and you'll get it sooner that way. So there's still time to do that if you're interested in that. But otherwise, we'll be sending the hard copies of letters out in the month of December, so you'll see what your new benefit amount will be. And again, that's 3.2% that's coming in 2024.
Jack, with that said, I know that this maybe kind of plays along with that a little bit. Can an individual get both SSI and Social Security benefits based on disability?
Yeah, Seth, that's a good question, and there is a possibility that they could, because with the SSI program, SSI stands for Supplemental Security Income, and that's a needs-based benefit. So you don't have to have paid into Social Security in order to qualify for SSI. The money that is used to pay SSI benefits comes from federal tax dollars, but it doesn't come from Social Security dollars. So it is a different type of benefit. So, right now in 2023, the SSI benefit rate, the national benefit rate is $914 a month. Next year, that's going to $943. So if you qualify for Social Security benefits that are less than that, and you don't have any other income and you don't have assets above the limit, then you could get some additional SSI money to get you up to that $914, or next year the $943. So we do see people who get some Social Security and then some SSI as well to get them up to that SSI benefit rate. So definitely something that's possible. It just kind of depends on what your Social Security benefit is. If your Social Security benefit is higher than those thresholds, then typically that's when you wouldn't get anything.
Jack, I hate to do this to you. I got to let you go, my friend. Jack Myers, Social Security, our guest. Network News is now.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM, W293 DJ Normal Bloomington.
Hall.com. I'm Rich Thomason.